Welcome everyone to the next episode of Industry Talk series organized by the JSOM Finance Lab. Today we have with us a very special person who has been an integral part of the Finance Lab previously. So we're very proud to have our UTD alum Saiyam Agarwal to be the speaker for today. Just to brief you about his background, Saiyam is currently working as a finance manager at Walmart in their finance and strategy division. As a seasoned financial professional with an MBA and MS in finance, Saiyam specializes in business valuations, mergers and acquisitions, and corporate finance. His expertise is deeply rooted in financial analysis and modeling, underscored by a strong capability in identifying and mitigating financial risks. His practical experience includes a pivotal internship at Ernst Young within their strategy and transactions team, where he worked on business valuations, and an internship at Athene in the risk management division. It is our pleasure to welcome him today. So, a very warm welcome, Saya. Uh,
Yeah, thank you, Vardhan and Purnima for setting this up. And it's always great to come back and yeah, to be associated with university. So yeah, thank you for this.
sure. Thank you so much. So, first things first, we are very happy and proud to have an alum working at Walmart, basically, which is the most popular retailer in town, right? So, can you please elaborate on your role and how does a normal day look at your office at Walmart?
So yeah, to begin with, my role in finance at Walmart, it includes mainly of FP&A and strategy for Walmart Plus membership that we run. This is a program that was started very recently by Walmart, mainly in response to that of Prime, but arguably Prime was there for quite a long time. But when the COVID hit, the leadership understood the need that Walmart Plus should be there, and definitely it attracts quite a bit of crowd. And why not deliver the groceries just like how we deliver the packages and do the same things to the marketplace? So, yeah, I mean, my role over Walmart Plus, it includes mainly understanding what is the needs of the customers, A, how is the behavior looking like, and what should be done in order to address and push that behavior more so that we could get more spend out of it. And C, what would be beneficial programs that we should be leaning on so that this would be a great value proposition to our customers, and in return they would want to feel more valued and would want to come back, and be a part of the program, and add more value to their own daily grocery needs, um, or for example, Walmart Plus has to offer other benefits as well, just not the delivery. Like for example, streaming services, be it any fuel discounts, be it early access. So that way.
Oh, that's amazing. What you said just, kind of justifies the fact that they always prioritize and put their customers first, which is
Yeah.
great. As an international student, right? So you would have faced several challenges moving from your home country and coming all the way to the US. So can you describe your experience moving to the US and what challenges did you face in your personal and also in your academic life?
So moving to US wasn't initially when it came across my mind, I used to always resist this thought of going outside of India and studying any kind of from any of the abroad, or any universities, especially in US also. So my elder sister, or elder sibling, she was already here. I used to always think about it like I shouldn't be going there, and always being situated back in our home country where we are born. But to my amazement, my whole thought process changes, and that's what that demands, right? You have to do things according to what is required out of the time and the needs as well. Um, yeah, arguably, I would say kind of there was some kind of dissatisfaction also on the job markets and the job conditions. But also, when I was thinking and contemplating my decision to go to US, it was mainly driven by my drive that I had to do something in finance. Because I knew my strength is like, understanding the numbers well, and most importantly, that understanding the numbers well is what I feel is storytelling is more important part of that understanding the number well. If you're able to articulate what these numbers are after looking at it, then I think so you're set up for a success, is what I feel. And that was somewhat hit in my mind when I was working in India and during my previous work experience. So this was there, and then I kind of also had conversations with some of the industry leaders. I did have access to one of the our previous CEOs of the company, so I did have this conversation with him, and he also strongly suggested, like, he gave me a push for the finance, and the conditions were also suitable. So I was like, why not give it? And things turned out to be totally different from there.
Yeah, I think that's great. So I mean, being an international student, we have our own struggles, we have our own challenges, but I think that what's really important that how you make your way through and basically how you carve out yourself.
Yeah.
That is
I,
great.
I totally get that, Vardhan, and especially when it comes to specifically, I'm talking about international students over here. First few days, initial few months is going to be like totally different. And I come from the most populated country, and within that, I come from Mumbai. So imagine the kind of density that we used to see around the people, and for a fact that this makes a big difference. And for normal American, this might be a very normal situation right now. For us coming out of that situation, it feels like very lonely world over here initially. So the challenge is that, like, how do you balance out this emotions, as well as keep your head straight and just walk in the direction, or in the right path where you're aiming at. That is the most challenging. I can say it very with very ease right now, but trust me, when you're put to test and made go through that, it's tough. And I do hear out all the international students, how do they feel that, and I've been through that. So there were a lot of late nights, there were a lot of cultural shock that I faced. Um, Also cultural shock in respect to the universities being operated the way it is and things like that. So yeah.
Absolutely, that does sound relatable. Thank you so much for that. So moving on, as you mentioned that the job landscape is really tight. I mean, specifically the US markets, right? So what approaches did you use when you were applying for internships and jobs? Including the resources that you used, and basically how did you prepare for the technical part of the interview as well? Because that is equally important as the behavioral, right?
Yeah. So, step one, specifically for the internship part, when you are studying during your university days, my approach was like bang in from the first semester itself, and I've told this to the people as well. Your job starts as in when you start, step into the US, and then from there onwards, you should be starting to refine your resume. You should be talking to people, connect with people, understand what is their perspective, get the feedback, timely feedback from not just one people. I'm saying from probably everyone. Find the commonalities initially, and then later on rely on very few people to understand and get directed by them. Then later on, you should not be relying on not everyone's opinion, is what I would say. That would lead to more confusion. Um, then, secondly, I would say interaction is very key in job search or in internship search as well. Interaction with whom? Interaction with people who are working in the industry as well as industry leaders. Now I see quite a lot of people make that mistake, like they are working on their resumes. They don't know exactly that what role that they are suitable for, A, and what role that they want to get in, B. These are two different things. So understanding what you want is okay, and you should definitely go and try towards it. And also understanding your strengths and what you are good at. That is also equally important for me and my strategy that I used to work on. Um, Identify what are the roles that could easily get you a job, and you're ready as of today. And then later on, also build up a roadmap like, see, this is my aim and this is what my goal is. So let's start working on the skills around that. In the meantime, as and when you're growing and your time progresses in the university. So that was there. And third is when you're going to interact with the industry leaders, industry people, you have to be very clear with your questions, and you cannot be very cautious about direct straight answers or direct straight questions about can I get a referral or things like that. You have to build that connection with the people. I know most of the people understand that this is not the right approach, but yet some people in the desperate times and desperate measures, this what gets triggered, and very understandable as well. So this was my approach, and that's how I used to approach my internship search, and then major part of it in the job search as well.
Awesome. That was really valuable advice for all of us listening to this. And yeah, I think what you said is really true. Desperate measures, sometimes people do that, but we should, not do that and instead build a good rapport with them before we go ahead to ask them for a referral as
Yeah,
such.
yeah.
So moving on, you have a very diverse experience in finance, and as such, every finance professional aspires to work in the Big Four, and you have worked at Ernst and Young, and we wanted to understand what skills are required, for business valuation role at Ernst and Young.
So, business valuation roles definitely do involve a lot of technical skills. And coming back to your one part of the question, Vardhan, where you're at, how do I prepare for the technical skills? I think major part of it is being taught during your university days. Um, so business valuations in itself is about like what are the different methodologies that is being used, and also keep on refining your skills on that from the modeling aspect. Now, from the valuations point of view, it requires a lot of experience, and that comes with only a lot of reputations that many people have gone through and have been doing that, and that's where the experience matters a lot. So all of these people who are already there in the industry and they're the veterans of that, so their opinions come into the picture, and they could easily point out like as per the modeling and whatever the scientific way of doing that really is the way. But when it comes to normalization of what these values or valuations looks like as per the industry standards, they are the ones who would guide us and lead to the better range that we would be coming up for any kind of valuations that we would be doing. Um, and secondly, like in my specific role, it was like two types of valuations. One valuation was many statutory oriented valuations, which was done on regular basis, be it for the year-end closures or any of those things like that. And the second one was for any kind of mergers and acquisitions that used to happen, or any kind of spin-offs as well. So that's when we used to do most of both all of the methodologies, in fact, in that. And yeah, like I said, you can do as much as good modeling as you can, but storytelling is a major part of the whole process, and the way the communication skills comes into the picture, because there will be various partners, there will be various top level leaders who would be getting involved as and when you would be starting getting ahead with the project. So you would have to explain what, when, why, how, and what are the future steps about this particular valuations and things like that. So you have to be very confident in your approach, and the confidence would only come out only when you know the basic sanity and the way it is to be done is being done right.
I believe that storytelling is actually vital, and you actually highlighted that. So thank you so much for that. Furthermore, we know that finance is actually a land. I mean, it's an ocean of opportunities, right? And there
Yeah.
are like a lot of open doors, and you cannot confine yourself to one specific role. And I have personally interacted with you. I know that you always emphasize on the transferable skills. So my question is that what are the transferable skills that you gained while switching roles from, let's say, risk management at Athene to business valuation at EY?
Yeah. So, with respect to my first internship in United States, that was in Athene, in risk management. Over there, my major part of the job used to go on running the reports and also understanding if there's something that needs to be called off to the traders and something that looks very unusual. So that demanded a blend of both, mechanical modeling as well as understanding if the figures are looking right on daily basis, and also help them at times to mitigate, the risk which used to come along with any kind of hedging that they used to do the process in the whole landscape. So that was one of it. Secondly, um, major part of it also did involve understanding the strategies behind why it has been done. So a, modeling, and secondly, strategy. So my role when it went to EY, definitely this brought lot many transferable skills. Excel is prominent as a financial professional. Any of the finance graduate should be having hands-on experience with Excel, meaning saying like anything and everything can be done on Excel if a person knows about it. But it's Excel has its own limitations, like the number of records that it could churn out or we can process. It's quite limited, and that's the reason why people turn on to a bigger platform or different platforms involving coding. But if you understand things on Excel, then it makes very easier for you to do or move on to the other platforms, is what I understand from my experience. So defining and create, this transferable skill was like modeling was one of the important thing that took along with me. Secondly, strategy oriented thinking was also another thing that took as a transferable skills from Athene at risk management to business valuations role. Whereas the new skills that I acquired before transitioning into this role was understanding how modeling specifically works for this particular role. And secondly, how do they go about the process of valuations? Like there are various stages of valuations. Like initially you would do your own set of valuations, you'll come up with a range, then it goes back, and then there's financing which happens. And things like that. So understanding that process and where do we lie in the process and what is the role to be done at different stages in the process, that is also very important. So this is how I learned, and self-awareness was also an important thing. Like these are your strengths. On top of it, what do you need to build up, and then that's a perfect combination for any success.
That's amazing. So, as a core course of the Masters in Finance program, we are all pursuing, one course in valuation. But hearing the real experience from you was just truly amazing.
Yeah.
Um, so, all of us in our lives, we have had, some particular moment which has been very pivotal. So, reflecting upon your journey, can you, share your experience of any turning point in your life or in your career?
Turning point. I wouldn't be able to specifically point out one. Yeah, I could. In fact, during my teenage, there was a time when I was also appearing for CA in India. CA course in itself is a very demanding and challenging course, and that was during my bachelor's degree that I was, and I was quite young. I would categorize myself young when I was in bachelor's because I see a lot of people make mistakes and they are very chilled out during the bachelor's of commerce, especially that degree when people pursue. I decided to do this course. Now, my main goal of this course, doing like pursuing this course was it was to prove to myself and to also those around who started questioning my ability, like, can I do this or not? The moment when I cleared that one group of IPCC, that gave me an immense boost of confidence, and I couldn't articulate it in words, but that really I wouldn't categorize like, okay, I did not go for the CA final, that's okay. But I did accumulate that kind of knowledge and that kind of professional experience in that age. And that really helped me boost my career after that. So that discipline was very important. So discipline as well as like that achieving the results, but there was a set process that you need to do. And that was a very trial and tested period for me, but I was glad that that was there as a part of my life at that moment. So yeah, I mean, the way my philosophy goes is like you can do as much efforts you can, and you should be controlling what are your controllables. At the same time, also leave certain things when it's beyond your control, and don't hang in too much at times, because then you're blocking probably your good opportunities that might come.
Right. I think that is I completely agree with that, because competitive exams are really challenging, but they actually teach you discipline in life, which
Yeah.
you can actually carry it a long way, right?
Yeah. And
Exactly,
that's very
exactly.
important. I feel like it's not talent, or it's not efforts that many people lack. It's discipline. It's the consistency, like getting up every day,
Yeah,
despite knowing that your mind or your heart is not into it, but still getting it onto the chair and doing that. Like that's what demands more than anything else, is what I would say.
absolutely, absolutely. So thank you so much for that. So I know that you've always advocated for Excel, and
Mhm.
reiterating what you mentioned previously in this session. We know that Excel is probably a bread and butter for every finance student, right? So, how did Excel or any other resources available in the university help you when you were here at UTD?
Excel definitely for sure, because most of the classes, like you must have observed till now, like the main crux of it is on Excel, and also some of the lectures that I had done during my time was macroeconomics, that also involved of like a lot of thinking and then writing it down. Um, so that was there. And secondly, the greatest resource that I would like to highlight is the finance lab. That's very underscored till now, because um, many of the people, they don't understand what actually the skills and the data management techniques that we get to learn if we do any kind of projects on finance lab, or get associated with it. Because I myself in the first semester had no idea what finance lab is and what it has to offer, because I was in my own race of doing certain things and getting it sorted. Um, then when I get started getting associated and understanding more about that thing, so I understood what are the different databases, and what was the project that I got to work on in the summer, working along with the JP Morgan and Chase. That was a great opportunity. I'm damn sure like you guys also would get that opportunity, or might have gotten that opportunity by now, but that's something that we should be seizing on when you have the time. At the same time, also prioritize your job search when you're doing along with it. But that's what showed me what a balance actually looks like when you're also having this commitment and versus a job search commitment. And many of the people would be facing it right now, doing your assignments and everything at the same time your job search. So that was something. The very resourceful part was finance lab job, as well as the finance lab resources that it had to offer, be it any of the seminars, be it teaching to people, also a simple login. But definitely, yeah, I mean, Bloomberg was a standout responsibility that I had for Athene when I was doing my internship over there. And that really came in handy over there. So you never know. And Capital IQ came in very handy when I was doing my business valuations. So yeah.
Yeah, so this was my first semester working at the finance lab, and whatever you voiced just now kind of echoes how we all feel as well. So
Yeah.
finance lab is an amazing place to be in, and yeah. So social engagement and being active in the university is very vital. And we know that you have been a Dean's Council member and you have also been a teaching assistant. So how do you think all this helped you in contributing to the community at UTD?
Teaching assistant definitely gave me that boost when it comes to what are your experiences. Be like it brings in additional responsibilities on your shoulders when you would be taking these kind of roles. So communication skills was really great, and then you had to do any kind of seminars. You have to do that public speaking at times, and you have to lead people despite having a lot of different pressures, be it assignments, be it exams, be it job search, and beat all of the stress. And at the same time, you also have to do add-on responsibility of this. What made me really do good in this time period was balancing it off and prioritizing things at the same time, making best use of the time. So could not be done without planning, right? Like at this point of time, you should be doing this. Like a lot of people, they might write down what is their schedule for the day. And for me, it works in my head, and that's how I prefer to do that way. Because at times your priorities do change, and I'm not that kind of a person. I mean, whatever works for different people, just do it that way. Basically, time planning is what it taught me, and that was amazing. I still get that into my work right now. At times there are multiple conflicting deadlines that would go on. So how would you prioritize and do it very fast at the same time efficiently? So that was there. And Dean's Council definitely gave me a platform to interact with different people from different streams. So I made a lot of friends over there, and I know a lot of networking and how do they talk. So at times we're very confined to finance, and I don't know whether you guys have noticed it or not. When you're talking to a lot of finance people, you start getting very logical side of your mind, and you forget to tend to use the emotional side or be the cheerful or chirpy side of your mind, is what I believe. So that's what I've observed throughout my life in my past 10 years or so, whatever that I have. So. Uh, so, also exercising that part. Like we don't have to be like the logical or very serious kind of people. At the same time, bring the fun element, and that's what it brought the fun element out of me. So definitely this is an add-on.
That's lovely. So, just from interacting with you, we can see that you're a very disciplined person, and that is something that all of us truly have to learn from you. Uh, so, the practical experiences from your internship and current role, we can see have enriched your personality both personally and professionally. Your career growth is truly inspiring, Sayam, and all of us look up to you, and we hope to collaborate with you sometime in the future. Thank you so much for taking the time out from your schedule to join us today and also for sharing your experiences. I'm sure that all our students will greatly benefit from this session. And we wish you the very best. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much, Vardhan and Purnima, for setting this up. And like always being obliged and much humbled to be a part of the university and give it back to all of the students.
That's
Thank you so
amazing.
much. Thank you so much, Sayam.
Yeah. We also thank the viewers for their continued support and stay tuned for the next episode of the Industry Talk series.